Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Gardens Grove. This is one of our new baby birds that came out of our its little nest. I saw it reaching for a worm and I was going to try to get its picture doing that, but I think it's too late. I think he's out and about now. I am out in the garden trying to find a place where I can plant up my little bacopa that was trying to give it up, but I clipped off all the deadish looking parts, or not, well, yeah, the parts of it was dead. So, but it's ready for some sun and some shade and some air, some circulation, and it's gonna, I hope it'll do well. And I was looking for a pot for it. I think I found it. I think this might be a good place for it. It does get a little dappled shade from our weeping willow tree. So I'm thinking that might be a really good place for it, right in this pot, because to me the bacopa definitely does need a little bit of shade. It's hard for me to get going. The first one I ever got just went great and did so beautifully all season long. I had no idea it was a problem to grow. I don't know how I lucked out, but I'm hoping to again, of course. But don't you think that white bacopa and the other one I'm going to put in here is verbena, which does take sun, and I know this little pot does get some sun. So at various times in the day it'll get more than others. But I'm going to put those two in here and then something tall, because of course the bacopa and the verbena will be something that's trailing, spilling over the sides, which is beautiful. And then I'll see what else I can do, or that may be all I put in here. We'll check it out. But you know, before I get too far along, I just want to thank God for the beautiful spring we've had. It has been so lovely. It's just, we got rains when we needed it. We got cooler weather after, of course we got some hot weather, but not for very long before our cooler weather came back. And I got to clean the garden out, some in the heat, but a lot in the cool, and that's unusual. So even though I was sure I might not survive it, it was actually one of the better times as far as weather-wise goes. But it's so good to have everything where you feel like you're just kind of working with God and He's supplying everything you need as you go. He's the supervisor. Don't you wish you always had a supervisor as good as God, who has our own interest at heart on every decision He makes for us? And wherever He puts us in the job. Of course, that doesn't usually happen. But it does with God. It always happens, even though, I am just still hyper from having gotten it all cleaned out. But when I'm cleaning it out, there is no hyper. There is no energy to think about hyper. But then when you get it done, it's just, you just have that feeling it's unbelievable that you did it. And that's a good feeling when it's done. But I'm very thankful for the way this spring has gone, other than those 2 months of cleaning and cleaning out old dead debris. But other than that, it does look so nice. It's been so nice to get so much done, and just to feel God's Spirit out here, and to be happy again, and get to do some things that I hadn't done, and be with my friends and family, and celebrate my mother's 93rd birthday. And we've just had a pretty wonderful few days, and I like it. I love it. Yes, I do still have many flowers or plants I need to plant. And you can see I've emptied some pots, and they're mostly in containers, some in the ground. But also I had to get some more irises for my granddaughter, because when I got hers, I just pulled some up. They had not bloomed. I didn't know what color they were, but this almost black one and this lovely yellow with a white light inside it. It looks like a light, so pretty. And then this blue that just goes so perfectly with that yellow, and also looks beautiful standing by alone by itself. So she's gonna love them. I know she will. Okay, this is what she looks like now. And this is kind of a before too, even though it's after the plants are planted in there, but you'll see them much more beautiful if they last and do well for me and nothing happens to them except good things. They will fill out and then blend together and just look beautiful. This is a white and purple verbena. This is a white bacopa. This is an angelonia. It's kind of pink and purple together, maybe a little white in there too. And then you can hardly tell it, but there's a coleus right down here. Let's see if you can even see it. Right in between those two little bars, there's a tiny little coleus, and that's all that survived in the window because it rotted from the root up. But the top part of it was looking good, or looking healthy. So I put it in there, and we'll see how it will do. And I think I'll get to show this to you again when it's beautiful. I think that lots of times it doesn't turn out, but that's usually just because something like cucumber beetles, shh, don't say it very loud. I haven't seen one yet. Please, Lord, don't let me see them. I don't like those. I don't want them in my garden at all. They devour every bloom. All the beautiful blooms be just destroyed by them. Please don't let that happen. So anyway, that's the way it is. But lots of things can happen in the garden, but lots of beauty can happen in the garden too. Just a few minutes ago I showed you this, and now look at it. It's opened up more bloom and looking great just in the little time that I worked on fixing up this pot. Looking great. And opening up to reach for the sun is this lovely rose. It's just opening up all over the place. These canes get really large. I have to trim them down several times during the year, but I still love it here, and especially right now when it's so full of beautiful bloom. And I planted my little baby fennel right here. It came from a seed that I planted, and so I put a little stake in front of it this morning, hoping that would keep me from stepping on it when I'm out here, and give it a chance to get big and tall and beautiful and smell wonderful like licorice plant, or like licorice itself. And this little one is a delphinium seedling that I started from a seed. I planted a whole bunch in one of those milk cartons, and I got this one and I think two more. The other two were so tiny I don't know if they'll make it, but this one has a good chance to make it. Looks beautiful. And I actually did buy one that I haven't got in the ground yet, but I plan to do that. And also I did put another little stake beside it. It's a wise thing to do this, especially when they're this small, so you don't forget that you put one there and drag a hose over it, or in my case usually step on it. And oh, I hate it. This is where right there used to be my pretty St. John's wort bush, and it was a beauty. It has a round, well, it has a round tuft in the center of its bloom, and the top of it looked like little fiber optic petals sticking up, or those little fiber optic pieces that are in a fiber optic thing. It looks like that. It's so pretty, but it died out for me. I don't really know what happened to it, or maybe they're not very long lived. I'll have to look that up. If they live long and it was not something that it would just happen again. If it just happened again, I might as well leave it out, but it lasted several years, so I'm not sure that that's the problem. I'll look that up and see if I can figure out if I want to get another, and I know I would love to have another one in the garden. It's so pretty. So look, I got to put my feet up, and I even wore my regular clothes to do that one little pot. And I may not work in the garden today or tomorrow, but I've got to get back at it, you know, down and dirty, to work on it Monday if at all possible, if something else doesn't come up, because there's so many things that need to be planted and so many pots that need something in them. So that will be the plan. But oh, it's such a wonderful contrast, and feeling like I feel today, and feeling like I did every day of the week except for yesterday and today, because I worked out here and it was hard on me. You know, when we get old, things just, it's not like it was when we were young. Used to, we could do all this stuff, you know, and it wouldn't bother us very much. A little, it'd still bother us. Even a young person, it'd bother some, but nothing like it does now. But I feel recharged, re-energized, ready to go again Monday. So I'm going to try to enjoy today some. I think I'll go in and watch a movie. I think I might watch A Beautiful Mind, because even though I've seen it several times, and I'm not right now just real interested in seeing it, but it won't matter, because when I watch it, I always feel good. At the end, I feel so good. There's so many just little phrases in there that I love, love, love. I love it when she tells him, maybe try again tomorrow. And I love it when he says that he doesn't believe in luck, but I do believe in placing value on things. And he had the little handkerchief that she gave him to put in his pocket, in his suit pocket. So, I mean, it's just, it's such a beautiful love story. It may be the most beautiful love story I've ever heard. But I may watch that if I can get myself, you know, to where I can, because there's other things I'd like to do too. I bought a Dolly Parton chocolate cake mix, and I need to fix that. I really need chocolate cake. But, you know, does sound good, especially with Brahms Homestyle vanilla ice cream. So, but I don't know if I'll get there or not. It's too much fun just sitting here and looking out at the garden. But there's so much to do. You can't go very far in the garden, or even with the camera. And this little pot right here is wobbly, and I've got to figure out a way to anchor it, or just take it off and put something else up there. So there's lots of things I so to say, but I'll figure it out, which I really do feel like I will do that, but there's a lot of things I need to figure out. You know what else I was going to tell you when I started my little spiel there? I was going to say, since I sit down here and relax, I got rewarded, because I've been looking all around and I had not seen that I have a bloom. I have a pretty blue bloom, and I'm going to go right over there and get a closer picture of it for you. I knew I couldn't stay set down long. But look, it's worth it to get up for. This is the bud, and this is the bloom, and this is the Siberian iris. It likes to be wet, so I put it, or like a bog garden type thing. So I have it in this little pot, and it did come back from last year, and isn't it beautiful? What a little joy. I'm glad I didn't miss that, because I don't know if these last more than one day, but if they do, it's not very much longer, the bloom part of them. But it's wonderful just to have them tucked in, and then you get this wonderful surprise at some point, of course. And then I looked over here, and this pot needs its little the drain hole in it fixed, because you can tell it's not draining. I'll have to redo that whole thing. So I will get out here and, like I said, get down and dirty as soon as I get a chance, whether it's Monday or not. But I'm expecting it to be Monday if I kind of take off today and tomorrow. Not totally off, because you know I did do that one little pot right over here. And I may do another one before the day's over, but I'm going to take it easier today. And I'm going to think I deserve it. Actually, I know I do. We got rain last night, and when I stepped out this morning, it smells so fresh, like God watered the whole atmosphere and put that beautiful scent in. I brought out the remainder of the things I kept dormant inside, and hoping it got that rain, so I think it will have a very good chance of coming right back to life and looking great. And how is the planting going? Not so good, but actually great. It's just that it's not done yet. That's the not so good part. And even though the rain makes everything look a bit bedraggled, it can also make it look great. And it got the little water droplets. I don't know if you're able to see them on here on everything this morning. And it's just gives them such nourishment, and gives me hope that they're going to be beauties. So I'm quite sure my planting should have been done by now, but other things have just happened, you know. And also this little pot right here, this morning I had to dump the water out of it, so I'm going to have to check the drain holes in it. And I had 3 pots yesterday while I was trying to plant. I had to stop planting in order to empty some of the dirt out, put holes, have my husband put the holes in for me. He did that. Thank you, babe. And so anyway, it just seems to always be that way, one thing after another. So I started putting in little clippings of sedums in different areas, because I loved it that this spring I started doing that last year, and the ones that I did that were ready to go. I just had to clear out the old dead stuff, and they just came right, were already there. I didn't have to plant, and sometimes that's a good thing. Although I do love all the colors and seeing all the beautiful things at the nursery, it's time for me to cut back a little bit on doing all that. But you can see I haven't cut back a whole lot, but it's headed in that direction. But yesterday turned out to be a day more of transplanting, or just actually starting plants. These are little clippings that I clipped out of the top of some of my others and put them in this little pot. And there's little petunias. Some of these actually came back volunteer, but some of them, let me see if I can just turn around here and show you this little seed box. They are coming up all over the place, and that's where I took some of them and just put them in another place. So and I love doing that too. And all these bells of Ireland came back. My friend Susie was going to take one of these, and we forgot to get it. So the next time I go that way, of course, I'll try to remember to have one of these for her with me. And of course, there's always a few trees coming up, seedling trees. And even though that was the most that I did, was transplanting little sedums here and there and everywhere, I did get some planting done. And some of this, you know, I already had done. But and look at this. If you remember how small it was when I put it in there, it has loved that rain that we've got. This is the nicest spring we've got for planting for when I got started, because I've done very little watering. God has done it all for me, and I'm so happy about that. And this little plant, I thought I had already put one down here with this little squirrel in it. You can tell that that little plant beside him, I had those two together last year and it looked so good. I wanted to keep it like that, so I'll try and see if I can find another one of these little kind of creamy white colored salvias, but I'm not sure that I want to take this one out now that I have it there. I'll probably leave it. But I did all these little pots the day before, actually, and then yesterday I finished the ones on the end. And then probably another reason I didn't get so much planted was because I saw that Sutherland's were having a sale, and it was a wonderful sale. I just loved it, and it had just what I needed. I maybe should have gotten more, because I can tell this little one may not make it, probably not going to make it. It looks like it has some snail holes where they've been eaten, but I did spray it, and hopefully if it's got a root, it could go ahead and take off and go. But I got some really pretty hostas, and I was needing some for, now of course these are the ones I've had, and I love them. They're so pretty. Had this one, had that one in the back of it, but this one is a newbie. This one is, of course, is an established one. It's been there long enough to look big and pretty, but look at that little one right back behind it. Isn't that a little doll? And it's not supposed to get very wide, but it'll get, I think, 25 inches tall, which will be just perfect for that spot, I'm thinking. So I did get several of the salvias, hostas, and this one right back here is a new one too, even though it came pretty big, and it's called a guacamole hosta. So I'm hoping for them, and I think they'll do well. Hopefully they will. If the snails will just leave them alone. I have such a trouble with snails, and these are the pots I did yesterday, putting these together. So I got some things done even yesterday with all the other things that happen in the garden that you're not really expecting, but it has to be done. And I also did this little pot and this dianthus came from the sale at Sutherland's. It's so pretty, and it's a perennial dianthus. I hope it'll come back in that little pot too. They do for me sometimes. This little white one came back, and while everything around it is not looking so good right now in empty pots, but look at this one. Isn't that pretty? And just a little white dianthus, and it came back and filled out and just looks great. And I was just thinking, I was looking over here and seeing this pretty black columbine, and I thought how pretty that would be if you had a single deal of black columbine, and down at the bottom all these pretty white dianthus. And then the one right beside it, I did this one too. It's also got some seeds sprinkled in there, so it's not looking so great right now. But I kind of thought the seed is white alyssum, and I thought it would just kind of bring these colors. It's mostly in this. It's pink, a bright, pretty pink, and these are also dianthus that I'm hoping will come back sometime. And it is not a perennial, but sometimes my annual dianthus will come back. And this is looking so bad, but this is a diamond frost euphorbia, and I kept it inside in this pot, so it's new to being outside. it will hurt it for a while. You can tell it's just thinking, oh, that's too strong, too much for me, but it will change its mind, I think. Usually they just kind of struggle for a while and then pick themselves up and go. So that's what I'm hoping will happen. This little plant, when it goes, it is gorgeous. It's just green and white, little white things that they look to me like little Christmas lights, little tiny Christmas lights all over it, and especially in the shade. And then this was such a pretty little plant, and I found it at Sutherland's also. And I found this pretty little mint green licorice plant at Janie's Garden Center. And I'm pretty sure I know why I have all these extra pots everywhere, because if I have a little leftover of a plant, I think, well, I'll start another one in that pot. But they have done well, and sometimes I do take these out of pots, or else what I would actually do is just clip some of this off and started it in another spot. And isn't it beautiful? I also found these purslane moss, but these are for my friend Susie. We looked for her some while she was here, and after she left, that's when we went over to Sutherland's, and they had just, I think, just what she was looking for. So the next time I go that way, I will take these to her. And yesterday, you can tell there's several pots here. These are where the hostas came out of. But I thought yesterday, I hope today I'll have all this finished. And today, I'm hoping that today I'll have all this finished. So, but I really do. I know it sounds like a joke, but I really do want to do that. Look at this beautiful catmint this morning. They respond so well to the rain. All the plants do. And yesterday I noticed this little swirling butterflies, Argara, was blooming, and so I remembered that I wanted to try some more because they look so pretty up against the gray of the fence. And so that's what another thing I did was I clipped off little, I don't think you can see it hardly behind that daylily, but let me go up to one that you can see, because I've kind of planted them all along here. Now I'm going too fast and but here's one beside this pot, one right in the center of these. Well, this one is a tall phlox, and then there's that little start, and then this one is the butterfly weed. And I do have one here that I started last year, and it made it through, so I'm thinking it's going to grow up and be pretty too. And then, of course, this is the pretty sedum, and this is another of the swirling butterflies plant. And more that I need to get planted. And proof that I did plant some, because there's empty containers everywhere that I want to finish. I definitely wanted to get these in, but I'm not really ready for the spot that I have. I don't have it clean. I have the old stuff cleaned out, but I don't have the pots filled or know which ones, what I'm going to put in which pot. So I've got to deal with that today. I want to deal with that today. Got my granddaughter some more iris. She's going to love them. And I do know pretty much exactly where I want to put these. I want to put these in the back in that area that I haven't got hardly any pots, if any pots done, as far as filled up and looking nice. But they're going to go in that strawberry pot, hopefully. I have one in the back and one in the front. So I'm just going back to the front to show you this one. I did get it done. And these will peek out from the top of it and all around the sides when they get big enough to. And then it just, to me, it even looks pretty when it's small like this, but when it really fills out, it looks so pretty. And we had some friends from our church that stopped by Sunday to see the garden, and she was asking me how I did this, so maybe I'll just kind of explain a little bit to you. But this pot, some of them have lips on them, little lips to hold these in. But this one is an older pot. I've had it for years. But what I did was I went ahead and put this is a landscaping fabric, the kind that you use, weed control fabric is what it's called, to control the weeds. But I just lined the whole pot with that, and then I cut little X's like there and there so that I could open it up and put my little plant in. And then once I got the plant in, I took, because it doesn't have a lip, I took some of the garden staples that are used to put the weed control fabric down. I just put some of those in and didn't push them all the way in, so they kind of builded a little lip, which I haven't been having trouble with them falling out, but I don't want to risk that. And that first year that I did it, they did fall out when I watered it, so I learned to put those in there, and it's just makes it's the perfect thing for a strawberry pot if you're not going to put strawberries in it. And while some of my peonies got finished off by the rains, others are just beginning to open and looking bright. This is a Sarah Bernhardt peony, and some of these I don't know if they will make it. Last year we had some rains right when they were about this stage, and they just went ahead and just kind of quit right there. So I may have to clip those off when I clip all the dead or spent flowers off of the other peonies, but we'll see. They could open up. And I love this little Keys of Heaven plant right in front of this peony, but you do have to be a little bit careful with it, as far as it's going to put some more down. These little one will make seed, and then it'll be tiny little plant, and then before you know it and get it out of there, it can be a whole new plant like this. But I do love them. So far they have not been that much of a problem for me, so I'm keeping it here. The honeysuckle in that rain, just the dampness seemed to bring that scent right out, and it was wafting through the whole garden while I was out here working. My husband even commented on, the garden smells good today. And let me hold up one of these pretty pink peonies, because they too are just so pretty. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.